Hello students, welcome to series of webinars on Advanced Taxation exam organized by ACCA. I'm your tutor OS Mirchawala, and in these sessions we will be discussing that how you have to prepare in these last few days of the examination. As you all know that it's only 1 week to the examination, so our primary focus will be on the practice of the past papers. As clear from the name of the session that these sessions are practice to pass. The objective of these sessions is to practice and make sure your chances of passing the exam are increased. I've been teaching this advanced taxation exam for more than 30 exam attempts, and 10 of my students have secured nationwide position in it. Now the question is that why do students fail in this examination? What is the reason of failure? Before moving towards the detailed analysis of the past papers, first I will discuss the reasons of the failure in this exam, and then we'll move forward with the study approach and we'll go towards the past paper practice. In my analysis, the primary reason of failure in this exam is lack of complete past paper practice. See, what you need to understand is that in advanced taxation exam, the exam kids give you topical past paper practice. And the students only do topical past paper practice and they don't try complete past papers in the exam situation. Now, as you all know that in advanced tax, there are so many small concepts like rollover, holdover relief, gift relief, incorporation relief, car benefit, fuel benefit, so many small concepts. It is a normal complaint of the students that, sir, we forget the concepts. When we go in the exam, we are not able to identify that what relief will apply where. All the things get mixed. So what is the solution to it? So remember, the only solution to it is complete past paper practice. What you have to do is that you have to attempt some complete past papers. Complete past paper means the entire 4 questions in the exam timing. And then you should send it to your tutor for marking and feedback. So the primary reason of failure in advanced taxation exam is lack of practice of complete papers. See, what you need to understand is that you revise corporation taxes and you do a question of corporation tax. That is always easy because you just revise the rules and you attempted the past paper. But the problem arises when you study the complete course, when you study so many concepts, and then you go towards the past paper, and then the things get mixed. So the primary reason of the failure is lack of practice of complete papers, number one. Number two, you people keep on forgetting the rules. So you need some type of summary. You need some type of summary so that you can remember the rules in a better manner. So what we will be doing in this last 1 week, see, this is very essential week. You are just 1 week to the exam and you have to make sure that you prepare in a good manner. What I expect at this point of time is that you all are good on the technical concepts. If in this last week I will be teaching you that what capital gain tax is or what inheritance tax is, that will be a complete waste of time. Because I personally believe that by the last week, students are already good at the technical concepts. So what we will be doing is that this is my summary notes document. This is my summary notes document, and in this document, I have summarized the entire course in 45 pages. All the rules, all the concepts, all the rules. Okay, they are summarized in 45 pages. The question is that from where you will be able to get these summary notes. So if you will go to the handouts tab, if you will go to the handouts tab of this webinar, you will be able to find these summary notes. Those students who will be joining me through the recordings, who will be listening to these sessions on recording, they can message me on my WhatsApp number and I'll share you this document. Now, first of all, this document, this summary notes handout will help you in revising the rules. All the concepts from basic income tax calculation, pensions, employment, trading, each and everything till the corporation taxes. All the rules are summarized in this document. So the first document which will help you in the revision. The first document which will help you in the revision. And we will do the complete papers. The complete past paper practice will be done. And that will help you in revising the key concepts. Okay, so if we discuss the approach, the objective of our session will be to practice the past papers and to revise the key concepts. For the key exam concepts, so I'll be doing the past paper, we'll be picking up the topics and we'll be doing discussion on them. Okay, the key reason is lack of attempt-wise paper practice. You can have my WhatsApp number. If you have any query, you can ask me. It's just for your help and guidance. Okay. So now what we will be doing is we will try and practice some complete papers in these sessions. Now, while doing this, I will be helping you out to understand that how you have to deal with the exam situation, how you have to do the time planning, how you have to draft the answer. See, it is very easy for me. Listen to me, it is very easy for me that I open the examiner answer and I read it with you people. But that is not my approach. That is not my approach. In my approach, I will draft a complete answer with you people. And what I want from you people is that you have to participate with me. You have to, okay, you will say, okay, sir, we'll apply this relief here. We'll use this concept here so that you people get involved in the development of the answer. You can understand that how I pick up the points. While we draft the answer, while we develop the answer, we will use two-way communication. You all will give me an input that, okay, sir, we should write this point here. Okay? Now, since these sessions are only of 12 hours, we don't have unlimited time. We have only 12 hours. And as you all know that it's 1 week to the exam. So what we will do is that in these live sessions, we practice 1 or 2 papers. Then I will give you some more discussion sessions from my old webinar sessions. Okay, like you will get around 3-4 papers practice, and this will give you an insight that how you have to deal with the exam pressure, how you have to deal with multiple topics at the same time. And then the most important thing, you people will have a free facility that you people can attempt one paper as a mock and send me for the marking. I'll give you my personalized feedback that will help you to improve your writing approach, that will help you to identify your errors and so that you can improve in the examination. Okay, so summing up the discussion we have done till here, in these sessions, in these practice to pass sessions organized by ACCA, we'll be discussing the complete past paper. Now, which past paper we'll be picking first? That will be of March, June 2022. The primary reason of picking this paper is that there's maybe some students who are resetters. So they can identify that what were the errors or what were the mistakes they made in that paper. We'll discuss the complete paper. We'll draft the answer. We'll develop the answer like a student. Okay, you people can ask me your queries that, okay, sir, how you identified this? What was the approach? We'll discuss each and everything in detail. During that, we'll revise the key concepts through the summary notes. Okay, and then I will also give you some past paper discussion sessions which I have conducted in the earlier sessions for your revision. And then I expect from you all that you have to attempt one paper and send me for the marking. Is it clear? Okay, let's start. Now, I hope that most of the students know that how you have to access the ACCA's practice platform. Okay, just giving a brief guideline to the students who don't have any idea. First of all, you'll go to accglobal.com. Then in the students tab, you will click on study support resources. Okay. Now, once the study support resources get opened, you will click on ACCA qualification. Then you will click on Advanced Taxation ATX, and then here is your CBE question practice ACCA practice platform. You will click here. Okay, once you will click here, you will go to the login to the practice platform, launch the external site, which is the CBE practice platform website, and then you will log in through your ACCA credentials. Okay, so I will start my login through this test read system. You will enter your login details and you will be transferred to this screen. Okay, here is the login. Just a second while it gets logged in. It sometimes take time because maybe many students are practicing on it. Okay, now once you will enter, you will directly enter to the candidate account. I have a special account, that's why I have this admin account access also, because I can assign papers to my students also. You will directly enter to the candidate account tab. Okay, now once you enter here, on the right hand side, there is a catalog. You will click on Advanced Taxation. Okay, then you will click on your variant. We study UK variant in Advanced Taxation. Then you will click on ACCA Official Resources. Then you will click on Past Exam Library. So we are doing this paper, ATX UK March-June 2022, which was the most recent paper. You will click on Assign. Okay, once you click on the sign on the right hand side, the paper will start appearing on the left hand side. Okay, just a second while it gets loaded. Okay, let me refresh the screen again, because when we assign it on the right hand side, it will start appearing on the left hand side. Maybe some technical glitch. UK ACC Official Resources, Past Exam Library, sign. Okay, so when we assign on the right hand side, it starts appearing on the left hand side, and here is your paper, ATX March-June 2022, and here you can click on Start. Okay, so we are starting the paper. I want you all to concentrate on it. So this is some basic introduction. I hope that you all know that since you are in advanced taxation, so you have used these tools earlier also. We look at these tools while we answer the paper also. Next, now the brief of the paper, that there are two sections, and now the exam paper starts. So this is the question number 1 of March-June 2022 paper, which is the most recent paper. We'll draft the answer of this paper, and I want you all to concentrate on it. Okay, now you should assume that today's date is 1st February 2023. Your manager has had a meeting with Alma, a potential new client of your firm. Alma has recently ceased employment and started a new unincorporated business. Extracts from the memorandum prepared by your manager following the meeting and from an email from her detailing the work she requires you to do are included within the exhibit. The work to be carried out is in respect of your firm becoming tax advisor, company purchase of own shares, voluntary registration for the purpose of VAT, and the reliefs available in respect of trading loss Alma expecting to make. Now, this is some basic introduction. He has given you a summary that what we'll be discussing throughout the question. But he has given you a basic introduction that we have to discuss, that while we become the tax advisor, what are the matters which we have to consider. You all know that while we accept the client, we think about the ethical code, we think about the money laundering implications, we take an approval, or I would say that we take an adequate letter a professional etiquette letter or a professional clearance from the previous tax advisor before we accept to become the tax advisor for anyone. Then there will be some discussion about companies' purchase of own shares, which we call as buyback of shares. Now, see, what you need to understand is that when I read this topic, okay, I said that there is a topic that companies purchasing its own shares. I'll simply go to the summary notes. I will apply fine, and I will say, okay, I want to go and look at repurchase of shares. See, the entire treatment of repurchase of shares get opened, and this is the entire detail that repurchase of shares can be treated as a dividend or they can be treated as a CGT, and the list of the conditions which we need to consider. See, the entire rules of repurchase of shares are summarized in this half page. So these summary notes, these 45 pages summary notes are a quick guide, and they will help you a lot while you attend the past papers and while you revise the entire course. When you are attending the past papers, whenever you think that, okay, I'm not remembering the rule exactly, just open the summary notes and see, okay, I remember this. But obviously, this will not be available in the exam, so you need to learn it. You need to remember the rules. Okay, but it will be a very good help while you revise the course. Then voluntary registration for the purpose of that, you'll go to the summary notes, you'll just find voluntary registration for the purpose of that. So here are the rules relating to voluntary registration. So it will be a great help. The reliefs available in respect of trading loss, Alma is expecting to make. So you will go to individual losses and you will just drag to trading losses. So here are individual trading loss because Alma is an individual. So whatever topic you have to use in the question, you can just remember the rule and you can apply the concept. Okay? Believe me, the only difference between a position holder student and a normal student is that a position holder student always practice past papers. Always practice complete papers. And just don't go and read the answers. Develop your answers. Draft your answers. And from whatever tutor you are studying, send him for the marking. Take a feedback. See, these are professional papers. If you read the examiner comments, not the examiner answer, the examiner comments, the examiner normally says that the students fail to impress. They don't write impressive answers. Now, what is impressive answer? That a student has to talk like a senior. He don't have to talk like a junior. He don't have to talk like a student. He has to use good drafting, good analysis. Okay? The following exhibits available on the left-hand side of the screen provide information relevant to the question. Memorandum extract from the manager and email extract. Okay, now let's start reading this memorandum extract from your manager. I want you all to concentrate on it and please participate with me while I draft the answer. Okay, now in the view of the changes to her financial affairs, Alma has invited us to replace her existing tax advisors. Background. On 1st November 2015, Alma purchased 2,000 of the 10,000 issued shares of BG Limited, an unquoted company, for £40,000, and on the same day began working as a restaurant manager for the company. BG Limited owns and operates a number of restaurants. See, just one advice while I read the answer. While you are doing the first reading of the question, don't get frustrated. Many students ask me that, sir, should we read the requirement first, or we should read the memorandum first, or the email first? My advice is read the question in sequence. And while you read the question, don't rush. Only advice, don't rush. Read with patience. Believe me, believe me, mark it at this point of time, and after 2 hours, you will say that, sir, this was the easiest question we have attempted ever. All the questions you will do with me, they all will be your easiest questions. Because while I attempt the question, I will not rush. While I read the question, I will not rush. We'll read it with patience and we'll read it carefully. Okay, so on 1st November 15, Alma purchased 2,000 shares of the 10,000 ordinary shares of BG Limited, which represents 20% of the holding, obviously. 2,000 of the 10,000 shares for £40,000, and on the same day began working as a restaurant manager for the company. BG Limited owns and operates a number of restaurants. Alma worked for BG Limited from 1st November 15 until 30th September 2022. However, she took unpaid leave for personal reasons from 1st September 19 until 31st August 2020. On 30th September 2022, Alma ceased her employment with BG Limited in order to start an unincorporated cafe business. Alma has always been resident in the UK for the tax purpose. From 1st November 15 to 30th September 22, her only source of income was her salary from BG Limited of £6,700 per month. Since 1st October 2022, her only income has been trading income from her cafe, which began trading on 1st January 2020. So some basic information is given that Alma has been working with BG Limited from 1st November 15 to 30th September 22. There was some unpaid leave between this employment period. Then she ceased her employment in September 22, and it has been her only source of the income. Okay, let's move forward. Sale of shares in BG Limited. Following disagreements with the other shareholders of BG Limited in relation to the future direction of the business, Alma decided to leave the company and to sell her shares. Alma sold all 2,000 of her shares back to BG Limited on 15th October 2022, which means that there was a buyback of shares. She has given her shares back to the company via a company purchase of own shares. Alma will claim business asset disposal relief badder, which means 10% CGT in respect of the chargeable gain arising on this sale. Then we have detail relating to Alma's cafe business. Voluntary registration for the purpose of that. See, I'm doing the first reading of the question. Read it with patience, read it carefully. First, we read the entire question, we'll go to the requirement, we'll review the question again, and then we'll start developing the answer. First, we read the entire question, then we look at the requirements, and then we read the specific parts again. If you will directly start attempting the question, there is a risk that you may miss some of the information. Okay? Budgeted revenue figures indicate that Alma will be required to register for VAT with effect from 1st September 2023. However, depending on the financial implications, Alma is considering registering voluntarily at an earlier date. This is in order to give the impression that cafe is more established than it is in reality. Okay, so businesses get themselves voluntarily registered so that they can have a good impression on the market. Okay, all of the supplies made by Alma's cafe business are standard rated for the purpose of that. This means that our finished good is standard rated. Our finished good is standard rated for the purpose of that. On 1st December 2022, Alma purchased furniture and equipment for the use in the cafe for £8,000, excluding VAT. The principal recurring cost incurred by the cafe are employment cost, food, and rent in respect of the business premises. The purchase of the food are zero rated and the rent is exempt for the purpose of VAT. So what you need to understand is that the expense which we are doing, the expenses which we are doing are either zero rated or they are exempt for the purpose of VAT. So we are not paying any input tax. We are not paying any VAT to the supplier because the food is zero rated. So we are not paying any VAT on the purchase of food and the rent is exempt. Whereas the finished good which we are making is standard rated. So what you need to understand is that if Alma will get herself registered for VAT, just listen to me carefully. If Alma will get registered for VAT, there will be no significant impact on recovery of VAT. Listen to me. Listen to me. If Alma will get itself registered for VAT, there will be no significant impact. The word I used is significant. There will be no significant impact on recovery of VAT because the purchasings they are doing are either zero rated or they are exempt. When you purchase a zero rated or an exempt item, listen to me. When you purchase a zero rated or an exempt item, you don't pay any VAT on it. So there is no element of recovery. Listen to me. When you purchase a zero rated or an exempt item, you don't pay any VAT on it. So there is no recovery issue. So even if she get registered for VAT earlier, it will not affect her recovery. However, the finished good which she make, the finished good she is making is standard rated. The finished good which she is making is standard rated. So if she will get registered for VAT, she has to charge VAT on the consumers. Okay, I will repeat it again. The finished good she is making is standard rated. So if you are registered for VAT, you have to charge VAT on the consumers. But you can recover the VAT also on your raw material. But here the point to understand is that her raw material, her expenses, her purchasing are either zero rated or exempt. So she is not paying any VAT to the supplier. There is no zero rate, there is no input tax in the situation. So there will be no recovery benefit which she will be getting. However, there will be some recovery on this furniture and equipment. While I will draft the answer, we'll look at it in more detail, so don't worry about it. Loss planning. Alma will prepare her first accounts for the 6 months ending 30th June 2023 and then annually to 30th June. She's expected to make a loss in the first 5 months of the trade and requires advice on the reliefs available. Alma's budgeted tax-adjusted trading profit loss before deduction of capital allowance are set out below. Now in the January, there will be a loss of 12,000, then 12,000 loss, then 12,000, 8,000, 8,000, and this is the entire expectation given. Okay. Now what you need to understand is that her first period end will be till 30th June 2023. So in the first 6 months period, these will be the relevant things. January, February, March, April, May, and June. Okay, we'll look at it in more detail while we draft the answer. No need to worry. Email extract from your manager. Let's look at it now. Please prepare a memorandum for the client file consisting of the work set out below. Part A, becoming tax advisors to Alma. I have already seen evidences of Alma's identity and confirm her address. Explain the matters we should consider and any other actions we should take before we agree to replace Alma's existing tax advisor, and state what is meant by the professional behavior in the context of the fundamental principles set out in ACCA's Code of Ethics. So this is the part A. We have to discuss the matters we have to consider and the actions we have to take. And then we have to explain the term professional behavior. So this is my part A, becoming tax advisors to Alma. Let's look at the requirement also so that we can answer this easy requirement very easily. You should assume that today's date is 1st February 2020. Prepare the memorandum as requested in the email. The following marks are available. Becoming tax advisor to Alma. How many marks? 5 marks. So while I develop the answer, I want you all to concentrate on it. Okay? Listen to me very carefully. See, We have to prepare the memorandum. We have to prepare the memorandum. And there are 4 professional marks also. So you have to look at the format of the memorandum. Okay, let's look at it. We are answering question number 1, Alma. Okay, now memorandum. Now this is a fixed format of memorandum. You people can remember it. To the files from tax supervisor. Okay, the memorandum will go to the tax files. Okay, and you are preparing a memorandum. It has been written to you by the manager. It has to written to you by the manager. So we will assume ourselves as the tax supervisor. Okay, now what is the client? Client Alma Business Affairs, or you can say Alma Personal Tax Affairs. You can write the date. He has given you the date here, that the today's date is 1st February 2023. 1st February 2023. Okay, and now we are answering this first requirement. Okay, I want you all to concentrate on it, and you all can participate with me on the questions tab. One student has asked a question. Let me read it. For the standard rated purpose of VAT, you said if she is registered, she will have to charge VAT on customers. Okay, one student has asked that, sir, you told that since she's selling standard rated goods, if she will become VAT registered, she has to charge VAT on the customers. What if she's not registered for VAT? If you are not registered for VAT, you are not required to charge VAT on the customers. Okay, the small businesses which are not registered for VAT, who are below the registration threshold, are not required to charge VAT on their customers. Okay, so if she is not registered for VAT, she will not be required to charge VAT on the customers. Okay, one student had asked me that, sir, WhatsApp group is available. Yes, the WhatsApp group is available. The link of the WhatsApp group is available in the handouts tab. The WhatsApp group link is available on the handouts tab, so you can copy from it. And if you want the WhatsApp group link later on also, you can message me on my WhatsApp number. Okay, the recording will also be available of this session. It will be available on the ACCA's YouTube channel and also on my own YouTube channel. Okay, so I think that these were the questions I have replied. Now I have a question from you people. Okay, one student has asked me, sir, the same question appeared to me on June attempt. This is the June attempt paper. This is the June attempt paper. Okay, this is the June attempt paper which we are attempting. Okay, one student has asked me, sir, please repeat the VAT thing. I will repeat it while I'll be answering the question, but just for your clarity, if Alma will get registered for VAT, she has to charge VAT on the consumers because she's selling standard rated goods. Okay, but if she is not registered for VAT, if Alma is not registered for VAT, then she is not required to charge VAT currently. Okay, if you read it here while we read the question, if you read it here, she will be required to register for VAT on 1st September 23. And she makes standard rated goods. Once she will get registered for VAT, she has to charge VAT on the consumers. But currently she is not registered. Okay. One student has asked, on zero rated goods, we can recover VAT on the material. See, my friend, I'm just making a clarity for you. If I purchase a raw material, listen to me carefully. If I purchase a raw material which is standard rated and I pay VAT on it, listen to me. I purchase a raw material which is standard rated and I pay VAT on it. And through that raw material, I make a zero rated good. Through that raw material, I make a zero rated good. So if my finished good is zero rated, I can recover the VAT which I paid on the raw material. But here, listen to me. Here, if you read the question, the raw material which we are purchasing, listen to me. Here in the question, the raw material which we are purchasing is itself zero rated. So when you purchase a zero rated raw material or when you purchase an exempt raw material, you don't pay any VAT on it. I will repeat it again. Listen to me. Normally, when you study your course, we always say that we are purchasing a standard rated raw material. So we pay the VAT on it. But here in this question, read it. The principal recurring cost incurred by the cafe are employment cost, food and rent. The food is zero rated and the rent is exempt. So we are not paying any VAT to the supplier. When I'm not paying any VAT, how can I recover it? When I'm not paying any VAT, how can I recover it? Now in this question, I'm purchasing a zero rated good. I'm purchasing a zero rated good. My business purchases a raw material which is zero rated. But what I make is standard rated. My finished good is standard rated. But the raw material which I'm purchasing is zero rated. So I'm not paying any VAT on the raw material. So there is no point of recovery. My finished good is standard rated. So if I will get registered for VAT, I have to charge VAT on it. Okay. Now one more student has asked question, sir, if she is not the purchase and sale the standard rated, then why register for VAT? She will get compulsorily registered for VAT from 1st September 23. So her compulsory registration will apply anyways. And she is told that she wants to register for VAT voluntarily so that she appears to be a big business. There is no issue in it. There is no manipulation. She's not doing any wrong thing. It's right of everyone to get themselves registered for VAT. So there is no issue in it. Normally businesses do that, they get registered for VAT so that they look more established. It's completely acceptable. Okay. Now, so using the word disguise will be a wrong word. It's completely acceptable to get yourself registered for VAT to give a good impression on the market. And obviously the tax department is also happy with it. Okay, let's return to the question. Now, I want you all to participate with me. Becoming tax advisor to Alma. Okay, what are the matters which we should consider? Please tell me on the question answer tab. What are the matters which you will consider before becoming the tax advisor to Alma? Please. We will think about the code of ethics. Oh, error. One student said, sir, identity and address. Please read here. I've already seen evidence of Alma's identity and confirmed her address. So don't write about identity and address. Okay. So what are the matters? We'll think about the code of ethics. Many students said we'll talk about the clearance from the tax advisor. Okay, very good. We'll think about the money laundering. So see, you people know how to write. You people know how to write. So let's pick up these easy 5 marks. Let's pick up these easy 5 marks. Okay. Now, so what did he ask? Becoming tax advisors. So first of all, our firm will consider code of ethics before accepting to become tax advisor to Alma. Okay, we have to consider factors like integrity of Alma and professional competence and due care of our firm before accepting tax engagement of Alma. Okay, so first of all, we will think about the ethical code. Okay, if any ethical issues exist, then our firm may deny to accept the tax engagement of Alma. Okay, so see, this was an easy thing. Yes, the ethics come every time in the question number 1. What else you will consider? We will also consider about money laundering regulations before accepting to become tax advisor of Alma. her business legitimacy, and sources of funds need to be considered. Okay, so we thought about the ethical code. We said that, okay, if there will be any ethical issue, we'll deny to accept, and we'll also consider about the money laundering regulations. So see, what did he ask? What are the matters we should consider and any other actions? What will be the actions you will be taking? Okay, our firm will obtain professional clearance from previous tax advisor of Alma. Okay, it need to be considered that whether any ethical issue existed, which led to replacement of tax advisors by Alma. Okay, if previous tax advisor identifies any ethical concern, then our firm may consider rejection of Alma's tax engagement. See, the correspondence with the previous tax advisor, which we referred as the professional clearance. Then what did he ask? The matters, the actions which we should be taking, and what is meant by the term professional behavior, please tell me. Okay, if we are the first tax advisor, then obviously we don't take the clearance. Okay, anyone, what is meant by professional behavior? Word professional behavior means that we have to make sure that we don't get involved in any activity which discredit the profession. A simple thing. State what is meant by the term professional behavior in the context of the fundamental principles set out in ACCA's Code of Ethics. Okay, term professional behavior means that a member of professional body should always comply with laws and regulations and should make sure that he is not involved in any activity which can discredit his profession. Okay, see, what I want to tell you people is that some students think that the sir is developing the answer with us and it may be some time wasting activity. Some students say that while you develop the answer, it wastes our time. What I always say to my students is that while I graph the answer with you people, you understand that how I'm writing. See, it is just like writing like a normal student. The major problem which you people do is that you people rush in the examination. You people rush and you people try and get marks in a fast manner. And that is where you make an error. Or you people get stressed out. Oh, I'm going for advanced text paper. How I'll draft the paper. What will happen? Don't do anything like that. Relax. Start drafting the answer. It's always easy. See, these were some easy 5 marks. Becoming tax advisors to Alma. We said that we will think about the ethical code. We'll think about the ethical code. We'll think about the money laundering regulations. We'll think about the professional clearance. Okay, and we explain that what the professional behavior is. Okay. Now, one student has asked me that, sir, how can we access these documents? You people can message me on my WhatsApp, and I'll also share these documents on the group. Okay, so there is no need to worry. I'll share these documents on the WhatsApp group. So once you join the group, I'll share it, or you can message me on my WhatsApp also, I'll send it. One student has asked me, said that what is the average time we should spend on reading and planning? In my opinion, it takes first 10 minutes to read the question and then you start answering it, like I read it with you people. Okay, so don't create any stress. Don't create any stress. Be relaxed while you develop the answer. Is it clear? Now, let's move forward. Let's move forward. What else he's asking? Then he asked us about sale of shares in BG Limited. Sale of shares in BG Limited. One more question. It would be good for us to do the question and answer alongside on the test page to gain better. No, it would be better that you first listen to my sessions, these live sessions, then I will guide you at the end that you should do some recorded sessions also. I'll share you people. Those are also my free resources. You can do that. And then you have to do some papers on the software and send me for the marking. Okay, but currently listen on the concept and the approach while I develop the answer, because if you will solve it on the test speech along with me, you will not be able to understand the concept in a better manner. These all documents, these answers which I'm developing, I'll share you the files with you people at the end of the session. Okay, now sale of shares in BG Limited. This sale qualified as a capital disposal such that it gave rise to chargeable gain rather than to taxable income. Now, if you people remember, the repurchase of shares is treated in either of two manners. One is CGT treatment and one is income tax treatment. One is CGT treatment and one is income tax treatment. So he's saying that sale qualifies as the capital disposal. So you are not required to make any argument on it. Alma's shareholding in BG Limited was clearly substantially reduced as a result of the sale of all her shares, and she is not connected to the company. I can also confirm that the sale was not carried out as part of a scheme to avoid tax. Outline the other conditions which must have been satisfied such that Alma's sale of her shares give rise to chargeable gain. Okay, outline the other conditions for the chargeable gain treatment. Just listen to me. This is a situation of repurchase of shares. This is a situation of repurchase of shares. Repurchase of shares is either treated as income tax or it is either treated as CGT. Okay. For CGT treatment, there are 6 conditions. Can anyone tell me those 6 conditions? Can anyone tell me those 6 conditions? Do you people remember? The person should be UK resident. The company should be unquoted. 5-year holding period. Very good. Very good. Then the repurchase should be in the best interest of the company. Remember, the holding should not be more than 30% and holding should reduce by 25%. Do you people remember? Number 1, the person must be UK resident. Number 2, the company should be unquoted. Number 3, 5 years ownership. Number 4, the repurchase should be in the best interest of the company. Number 5, holding should reduce to less than 30%. And the 6th one was that there should be reduction by 25% at least. If you don't remember, just click on the summary notes. Just click on the summary notes, press Ctrl F, find and write repurchase of shares. Write, just a second, write repurchase of shares. Here is the treatment of repurchase of shares. Sir, how can I access these summary notes? On the handouts tab, it is available. You can download it from there. If you are not able to find them, you can message me on the WhatsApp. I'll share it after the class. Okay. Now, taxation will be divided as dividend income or CGT. If dividend treatment will apply, then par value will be deducted. If CGT treatment will be applied, then cost will be deducted. Entrepreneur relief, which is now referred as business asset disposal relief, BADR, may be available on CGT treatment. Now, what are the conditions of the CGT treatment? Company should be unquoted. Company should be unquoted. Shareholder must be UK resident. Okay, the company should be unquoted. The shareholder must be UK resident. Holding period must be at least 5 years. Okay, holding should reduce to 30% or less, and holding should reduce by 25% or more. One condition is missed here in typing error, and that 6th condition is that the repurchase should be in the best interest of the company. There are 6 conditions: unquoted, UK resident, 5-year holding, The fourth one is that repurchase should be in the best interest of the company. Holding should reduce to 30% or less, and holding should reduce by 25% or more. Okay, now let's come back. Let's come back to the question. Outline the other conditions which must have been satisfied. See, he has written here that there has been a substantial reduction. So you are not required to worry about the reduction. You just have to outline the other conditions which have to be satisfied. Let's read the requirement. Sale of shares in BG Limited. How many marks? 4 marks. Sale of shares in BG Limited. How many marks? 4 marks. Listen to me while I drop the answer. Okay, what he has asked us? Outline the other conditions which must have been satisfied such that Alma's sale of her shares gave rise to chargeable gain. What are the other conditions? I just copied and pasted from the email. Other conditions which must have been satisfied such that Alma's sale of her shares gave rise to a chargeable gain are: number one, Alma's holding period of shares should be how many years? Should be 5 years. Alma's holding period of shares should be 5 years. Is it 5 years? Let's read the question. Is it 5 years? Let's read it. Here is it. On 1st November 15, Alma purchased 2,000 shares. Okay, and the repurchase is on 15th October 2022. So yes, the holding period is 5 years. She purchased shares in November 15 and the buyback is on 15th October 2022. Alma's holding period in BG Limited shares is more than 5 years as she purchased shares on 1st November 2015, if I'm not wrong. Yes. And buyback is on 15th October 22. And buyback is on 15th October 2022. So the holding period should be 5 years at least. Okay. Second, Alma was UK resident at time of buyback. Number two. Number third, BG Limited is an unquoted company. See, it is written here. BG Limited is an unquoted company. Okay. And the fourth one, buyback of shares should be in best interest of the company. Okay, so in case of BG Limited, is it in best interest? So you can read it here, following the disagreements with the other shareholders. So there were some disagreements, there were disputes in the company. So yes, it was in the best interest of the company that Alma should leave the company. Okay, now in case of Alma's buyback of shares, there was disagreement of Alma with other shareholders. Therefore, it can be regarded that repurchase was in best interest of the company. Okay, see, while I developed the answer, believe me, it is so easy. Any student who can say that, sir, it is difficult. Any student. The first 5 marks, I would say that it was just a piece of cake. The points which you should consider before accepting to become a tax advisor. Then part B, sale of shares in BG Limited. He said that what are the other conditions which must be satisfied. So You know, you have read it here, the repurchase of shares. Okay. See, what you need to understand is that there must be many students who are attending this webinar and they must be the resetters. They must be the resetters. And they have failed in this exam, which was such an easy paper. Now, why do they fail? Whenever a student messages me that, sir, I failed in the exam, my first question always, how many papers have you practiced? How many complete papers have you practiced? Okay. One student has asked me that, sir, how to identify that buyback is in the best interest of the company? See, this is already written in the book. When you remember the rules, when you study this topic, it is taught that buyback in the best interest of the company includes situation when the shareholder wants to retire, when the shareholder wants to retire, or or when the shareholder is in dispute. These points are already given in the book. Okay. I'm not, one student is saying that, sir, you are criticizing us. This is wrong. No, no, I'm not criticizing those who have failed the exam. The basic purpose is to make you people understand that the paper is very easy. The reason why you people get failed in the exam is that you people don't practice complete papers. Practice complete papers, send to your tutor for the marking. Whoever your tutor is, send him for the marking, take the feedback. And even if you attend this paper on the practice platform, if you are doing self-study, let's talk about the students who are doing self-study. Even if you are doing self-study, once you attend this complete paper, you click on the exit. On the practice platform, there is an option of self-marking. When you click on the self-marking, you will get the complete marking scheme. ACCA has made such a beautiful tool for you people. Believe me, it's a mind-blowing tool that you attempt the complete paper, then you go to the self-marking on the catalog page, the first page. You click on the self-marking, you open your paper and you mark it yourself. Okay? Now, let's move forward. Now, okay, now one student has asked that, sir, I usually face difficulty in understanding the requirement. See, I will only give you one answer. What is the solution to it? If you cannot understand the requirement, what is the solution? The only solution is practice complete papers. There is no shortcut. Like you say that, okay, sir, give me some shortcut that I remember that rule and I can always identify the requirement. There is nothing like that. Do complete papers. Attempt complete papers, send it to the marking. And when you are doing the paper, do your best. Don't look at the answer. Do your best. Once you complete the paper, click on the self-marking and read the examiner answer. When you will do 4, 5, 6 papers in this manner, you will be able to identify your mistakes. Sir, how many papers should be practiced to cross 50? At least 5 papers. At least 5 papers. Okay, once you'll do the 5 papers, complete papers in the exam situation, believe me, you will yourself feel an improvement. Just for a demo, when you complete these 4 days, you yourself will feel confident that yes, I can do that. And now just think that if you do complete 5 papers, your understanding will increase a lot. Okay. Now let's move forward. Let's read the next requirement. So we are done with the sale of shares in BG Limited. Now, cafe business. Voluntary registration for the purpose of VAT. Alma and I have already discussed the administrative aspects of VAT, including the various schemes and the penalty regime. Okay. Explain the additional matters we should draw to Alma's attention in order to help her understand the financial advantage and disadvantage of registering voluntarily prior to 1st September 2023. She is saying that I've already discussed the administrative aspects and the penalty aspects. So don't write basic points that the penalty may get applied. You have to file the return. Don't write the basic points. Explain the additional matters which we should draw to Alma's attention in order to help her understand the financial advantage and disadvantage of registering voluntarily prior to 1st September 23. Now, if I go back and read the situation, see, the Alma will start her business on 1st January 23. Alma will start her business on 1st January 23. Okay. Now, her business will start from January 23, but compulsory registration will apply from September 23. So almost after 7 months. Now, budgeted revenue figures indicate that Alma will be required to register for VAT with effect from 1st September 23. However, depending on the financial implications, Alma is considering registering voluntarily at an earlier date. Okay, she will start business on 1st January. Her compulsory registration will apply from September. He is considering to register voluntarily at an earlier date. This is in order to give the impression that the cafe is more established in reality. All of the supplies made by Alma Cafe business are standard rated for the purpose of that. On 1st December 2022, Alma purchased furniture and equipment for use in the cafe for £8,000, excluding VAT. The principal recurring cost incurred by cafe are employment cost, food, and rent in respect of the business. The purchase of the food are zero rated and the rent is exempt for the purpose of VAT. Now, what he's asking here, that what are the additional financial implications she need to consider? Additional matters which she need to consider the financial advantage or disadvantage if she registers prior to 1st September 23. How many marks to this requirement? 8 marks. How many require marks? 8 marks. Let's look at it, and then I want you all to participate and give me some feedback also. Okay. Cafe business, voluntary business registration for the purpose of that. Okay. Just a second. Now, I want you all to participate and give me some points that if she registers for the purpose of VAT earlier, okay, if she registers for the VAT earlier prior to 1st September 23, what are the financial advantage or disadvantages which can apply? Anyone, please tell me some points on the question tab. Yes, one student has given a very good point. Her finished goods will get expensive. Her finished goods will get expensive because she has to charge VAT on the customers because her goods are standard rated. See, one student has written admin burden. You should not write admin burden because it is written that I've already discussed the administrative aspect. So don't write about the admin burden. Okay. Let me read all the students' point. Okay. Admin burden, you will not write. Cash flow challenges. How there will be cash flow challenges? We don't pay any input VAT to the supplier. So why you are saying if we are making any credit sale, then cash flow challenges may apply. But normally on the cafes, there are no credit sale. One student has written may give an impression for more sustainable business. No, you shouldn't be writing here because it is talking about financial aspects only. So good impression will not be a financial aspect. Okay. She has to charge output VAT. Very good. It's right. It's right. Voluntary registration, she will be able to recover input VAT on the services incurred 6 months prior to registration. That will also apply in case of compulsory registration. She will easily recover her VAT paid. You need to explain it because normally she's purchasing zero rated and exempt items. So she's not paying any VAT. So on what items you are saying about VAT recovery? One student has identified it correctly. There will be recovery of VAT on the plant and machinery which she has purchased. Yes. Okay, just a second. It's done. Okay. I'm reading all the students' input and then I'll grab the answer. Non-competitive prices, you need to explain that if she will get registered, she has to charge higher price. She won't have chance of forgetting to register once she has read. See, the student, I would highlight it here very clearly. You said that she won't have a chance of forgetting to register. See, he has already stated here that they've already discussed the penalty issues. So don't write it about this that she may forget about registering because they've already discussed the administrative and penalty regime. The product may become expensive, yes, already identified. Her business is new and she needs to attract customers initially. See, this is not the financial aspect. He's asked you to stick to financial advantage and disadvantage only. Recovery of input VAT on furniture, very true. Will recover VAT on zero rated supplies. My friend, I will refer your name also. Yasir, this is wrong point which you are writing. This is wrong point which you're writing. Please make it clear. I have said identified it earlier also. Her purchases are zero rated. So Alma is not paying any VAT on it. When you purchase a zero rated item, you don't pay any VAT on it because the other person will not charge any VAT on it. So how come you will pay on it? She's purchasing a zero rated raw material. The raw material is not standard rated. When your raw material is zero rated, you don't pay any VAT on it. So why are you saying that she will be able to recover that? And her finished good is always standard rated. It's written here. Okay, she will be able to claim the VAT on the non-current assets which were purchased 4 years prior. Very true. Pre-registration VAT, output VAT, risk of penalties. You shouldn't be writing it because he has stated that we have already discussed the penalties. Okay, potential increase in price due to registration. If customer is not registered, it will make it expensive for the customer. So there are some routine points. So let me draft the point with you people. Many students identified good points, but some of the students made error. Like some wrote about penalty, you shouldn't be writing it. Some students wrote about administrative burden, you shouldn't be writing it. Why? Because he wrote it here clearly that I've already discussed the administrative aspects, various schemes and penalty. We have to discuss the additional matters. And some students were confused about the purchase of zero rated raw material. When you purchase a zero rated raw material, listen to me, when you purchase a zero rated raw material, you don't pay any VAT on it. Okay. And lastly, you have to discuss the financial advantage and disadvantages only. Okay. So let's discuss it. Uh, if Alma will get herself voluntarily registered for VAT, then voluntarily registered for VAT before 1st September 2023, if I'm not wrong. Yes, before, because on 1st September 23, she has to get itself compulsory registered. Before 1st September 2023, then she will be able to recover her input tax. She will be able to recover her input tax prior to this date. Okay, she has started her business from 1st January 2023. Therefore, early registration for VAT will allow to claim recoveries of VAT earlier. Okay, first of all, I have made a basic point that she will be able to recover the VAT. Listen to me. Please listen to me. If she will get registered before 1st September 23, she will start recovering the VAT. Rather than waiting for 1st September 23, she will start recovering the VAT from earlier date. However, in relation to her input tax, now here you have to make some arguments. In relation to her input tax, it needs to be considered that her majority purchases are either zero rated or exempt, okay, which includes purchasing of food items, and rent expense. Okay, no VAT is paid on zero rated and exempt items Therefore, recovery of VAT will not be a relevant factor on these items. Okay, so first of all, sir, I cannot find VAT notes on your summary notes. Just go to the VAT notes, press Ctrl F, write voluntary registration for VAT. So here is your voluntary registration for VAT. This is your entire VAT discussion. Okay, it's page number 26 and 27 of the summary notes. Coming back to the question. If Alma will get herself voluntarily registered for VAT, she will be able to recover input tax prior to the 1st September 23. As soon as you get registered, you can start recovery of VAT. Okay? But she needs to consider that her major purchases are food items and rent expenses. No VAT is paid on them, so there is no recovery factor in relation to it. Okay? Alma has purchased what she has purchased these furniture and equipment for use in cafe for 8,000 pounds, excluding VAT. Alma has purchased furniture, and equipment for cafe on 1st December 2022. Alma has purchased furniture and equipment for cafe on 1st December 2022 and paid VAT on them of how much? I'll add the symbol of pound. If you can add, it's better, but if you will forget, then also it's not an issue. Of 8,000 pounds into 20% is equal to 1,600 pounds. Alma has purchased furniture and equipment for cafe on 1st December 2022 and paid VAT on them of 1,600 pounds. If she will get registered for VAT earlier, then she can get its recovery at an earlier date. But here you need to consider one thing. However, it is to note that if Alma will get registered on 1st September 2023 also, then also she will get recovery of this VAT paid. Why she will get recovery? Can anyone tell me? Because when you get registered for VAT, you can recover the pre-registration input tax of last 4 years. However, it is to note that if Alma will get registered for VAT on 1st September 23 also, then also she will get recovery of this VAT paid. Okay, VAT paid on goods in 4 years prior to registration can get recovered if those items exist in business on registration date. Okay, this means that registration on 1st September 2023 or an earlier registration will only affect the timing of recovery. Okay, because if you will get registered earlier, you will get recovery earlier. If you will get registered on September 23, then also you will get recovery, but that will be a recovery on September 23. So it will only affect the timing of the recovery, nothing else will get affected. I will repeat it again. If someone is getting confused, don't worry, just listen to me carefully while I draft the answer. Okay, this is my normal habit that I repeat it for the students again and again. So if someone misses any point, it gets clear. And if you have any query, feel free to ask me. Okay, don't get worried. First of all, we said that if Alma will get herself registered for VAT before September 23, the benefit will be that she will be able to recover the VAT earlier. Because you started business on January, you will get compulsorily registered from September. So if you get registered earlier, you will be able to start recovering the VAT from the earlier date. Okay. Now, however, in relation to input tax, we highlighted one point that her major purchases are zero rated and exempt. So effectively, she is not paying any VAT. Effectively, she is not paying any VAT. Okay. When she is not paying any VAT effectively, so the recovery is not a significant issue for her. Recovery is not a significant issue for her. Okay. Then we commented on the equipment and furniture thing. Okay. We commented on the equipment and the furniture thing that there is a recovery matter. There is recovery of that. She can get the recovery earlier. But even if she get registered in September, then also she will get the recovery. Okay. One student is asking that, sir, the find function is not working on the summary notes. Maybe there is some problem in the file which I have shared because it's working with me here. Okay, I'll share another document on the group. Maybe there is some issue in the document which you people have got, some technical issue. I'll check it. Okay. Yes, I'm writing the advantages first, and then I'll go to the disadvantages. If you see, I'm discussing the benefits first, I'm discussing about the recovery, but I'm making an argument along with it. Okay. Yes, I'll send it again on the WhatsApp group also, but after the class, currently I'm taking the live session with you people. Okay. How many years before pre-incorporation expenses for businesses are allowed? You can deduct the expenses which were incurred in the previous 4 years. You can deduct it from the business. Okay, these all rules are given in these summary notes, so they can help you while you read them. Okay, now let's come back. For services, Alma can recover VAT paid on services in 6 months prior to registration. Okay, for services, Alma can recover VAT paid on services in 6 months prior to registration. If Alma will register on 1st September 2023, then recovery of VAT on some of the services may get wasted as business has started on 1st January 2023. Now, this was one of the points which could create a good credit in the exam. We started the business on 1st January 23, whereas the compulsory registration will apply in September. So it's 9 months between it. So if you will register in September 23, you can recover the VAT of previous 6 months. So there can be a wastage of 3 months period. There can be a wastage of 3 months period. So if you will go for an earlier registration, like on 1st January 23, you can recover the VAT of that period also. But we have made it already clear that her majority purchases are either zero rated or exempt. Okay, so let's read the question again and then let's see if there is any other point. Budgeted revenue figures indicate that Alma will be required to register for VAT with effect from 1st September 23. However, depending on the financial implications, Alma is considering the registration for VAT at an earlier date. Okay, this is in order to give impression that cafe is more established. All of the supplies made by Alma's cafe business are standard rated for the purpose of VAT. On 1st December, there is purchase of furniture and equipment. Our principal costs are employment, food, and rent. So what I believe is that we have commented on the recovery of VAT. We have commented on the major expenses she is doing. Okay, we have commented on the furniture and equipment thing. And we have commented on the services element that some period recovery may get affected if she registered on 1st September 23. Are you people getting it? Please tell me on the question box. Are you people understanding it? Okay. Now, disadvantage which Alma can face of earlier registration is that if her customers are not registered for VAT, then earlier registration will make her goods, will make her cafe uh, goods expensive for consumers. Okay. Disadvantage which Alma can face of earlier registration is that if her customers are not registered for VAT, then earlier registration will make her goods expensive for customers. Why? Okay. Alma's cafe products are standard rated, and as soon as she get registered for VAT, she has to charge VAT on sale. Okay, this will make her goods expensive for customers who are not registered for VAT. Normally, consumers visit cafes and they are not registered for VAT. You all know that consumers cannot get registered for VAT. So the primary problem, the primary disadvantage which she will face is that her goods will get expensive for the customers. Are you getting it? Okay, normally the people who visit to the cafe are the consumers, but we have made it clear that it will get expensive for those who are not registered for that. Obviously, if the customer is registered for that, he can file a recovery. So if you look at it, if you look at the answer, this was an easy 8 marks requirement. How many marks I have done till now? 5 plus 4, 9 plus 8, 17 marks. Believe me, not a single mark in my entire answer is difficult till here. Not a single mark. Not a single mark I would say that it was difficult and you people may not be able to do it. Becoming tax advisor, easy 5 marks. You discuss the 5 points. Then sale of BG limited shares, easy 4 marks. Then cafe business voluntary registration for that. Okay. I hope you people are getting it. One student said that, sir, can I attend the part C first? See, currently your paper is on practice platform. So even if you attend part C, you can press enter and you can solve it in the sequence. When there are professional marks involved in the paper, you need to make sure that you attempt in sequence. Okay. Now it is not about writing the answer that things you cannot change the sequence. Now, since the paper is computer based, you can simply press enter and move it down. Okay. One student is asking, sir, how did you know that food is a zero rated item? It was written in the question. The purchase of food are zero rated. Here it was written. The purchase of food are zero rated. Yes, it is better to write in sequence, otherwise you will lose professional marks. That is what I'm saying to the student who asked me the question, that if you want to attempt the part 1 first, you can press enter and you can move it below. Okay. Now it's not like the paper and pen exam that you cannot change the sequence. You can, once you attempt the entire answer, you can make it in the sequence. Okay. Are you people getting it? Voluntary registration for VAT. We simply said that earlier registration means earlier recovery of VAT. Okay. Then we said that her majority purchases are zero rated and exempt. So recovery is not her primary issue. Then we commented on the equipment thing. Then we commented about the services. And then we commented on disadvantage. Please give me a feedback. Are you people understanding the things? Okay. Yes, the staff cost can create VAT implication. So I have written here that yes, it will create earlier recovery. Okay. I have written it that earlier registration means earlier recovery. Is it clear? Okay. Now coming back to the question, the last requirement, which is loss planning, cafe business, loss planning. How many marks? 14 marks. the main crux of this question. So for marks for each question on average, how many points should be right? Normally, you can assume that there will be 1 mark for each point. But when the point is detailed, like if you read this answer, you can say that these points were involve more analysis. So they can be like 2 marks worth. Okay. Fazal is asking, Fazal, you asked earlier also, I'm repeating it again for you. The examiner has clearly stated that the food items they are purchasing are zero rated. And then here it is written that all of the supplies made by Hallmark Cafe business are standard rated. So when the question itself tells that this is zero rated, this is standard rated, so you are not required to question it. Okay. Sir, please can you give the marking scheme of your answer for VAT part? See, I told it for the earlier also. Normally, there is 1 mark for each point. Like you can say 1 mark, you can say 1 mark. But when you write a detailed point, when you analyze it, when you go in detail, you can expect that it will be worth 2 marks. Okay, you can expect greater marks for it. Okay. Is it clear? Like you can say that one, you can then say that 1 mark for it, then you can say that on this you can get 2, 3 marks. Then you can say that this was a basic point, you can expect 1 mark for it. Then you commented on the disadvantage, which was more detailed, so you can expect 2, 3 marks. Primarily in the advanced tax exam, you have to make sure that you answer the requirement completely. It is not like advanced audit that there are very fixed specific marks for like audit risk, business risk. I mean, there are not fixed specific marks in advanced tax. It can vary. Okay. Now let's come back to the last part, cafe business loss planning. Okay, which is a 14 marks requirement. Okay, so before we start this requirement, what I expect is that you people must all must have got tired because we have been continuously discussing this since last 1.5 hours. So let's take a break of 15 minutes and then we'll resume. Okay, let's take a break of 15 minutes and then we'll resume. Okay, then we'll discuss this big part which is of 14 marks. Get fresh air, do some walking, and then come back. Okay. Hello, students. So we are resuming back. So before starting this part C, let me answer some of the questions which student has asked. Sir, will the answer notes be shared in the WhatsApp group? Yes, they will be shared in the WhatsApp group, and they will also be updated on the handouts tab in the tomorrow's session. Am I correctly understood that I cannot ask the question tutor on? You can ask me any question. You can ask me any question. Okay. Our primary focus is on practicing the past paper because it's just 1 week to the examination. So my primary focus is to discuss the past papers. But you can ask me any question, any specific topic in which you need help, and I'll guide you. Okay. So is everyone back? Please confirm me so that I can start this last question part, which is a big part. Obviously, it's a requirement of 14 marks. So there must be something good in it. I want you all to concentrate on it and listen to me with very much patience so that you can understand it in a better manner. Okay. So let's start this loss issue. Here is the discussion about the loss planning. Alma will prepare her first accounts for the 6 months. Okay, one student is saying that I wasn't clear how to answer it in the June exam. Believe me, it is a very easy part. Just listen to me and you'll love the way I develop the answer of this part. Okay, just listen to me carefully. Alma will prepare her first accounts for the 6 months ending 30th June 2023 and then annually to 30th June. She is expecting to make a loss in the first 5 months of the trade and requires advice on the reliefs available. Alma's budgeted tax-adjusted trading profit loss figures before the deduction of capital allowance are set out below. Now, these are her monthly profit and losses. Okay? As stated in the question, it is written that she will prepare her first set of accounts till 6 months ending 30th June 2023. Okay, now this is her first 6 months data: January, February, March, April, May, and June. This is her first 6 months data. Okay, now this is the only detail given in the memorandum. Now let's read the loss planning. Calculate the Alma's tax adjusted trading loss for the tax year 2022-23. The first thing he has asked us is to calculate the loss for the tax year 22-23. I want you all to listen to me very carefully. Believe me, it's a very easy part. Okay, so we have to calculate the Alma's tax adjusted trading loss for the tax year 22-23. First of all, see, before going for the tax year, first we have to determine the accounting year profit and loss. Tax year is something different and accounting year is something different. See, Alma will start to trade on 1st January 23. Her first set of accounts is for 6 months ending 30th June 23. So before applying the basis period, because she has started the business, first we will calculate her profit and loss for the first 6 months. Listen to me. Trading, trading profit slash loss of Alma for 6 months ending 30th June 2023 will be. See, listen to me. First of all, we will calculate her 6 months trading profit loss figure. Okay. Now, in January 2023, then February 2023. Now, these are the 6 months. Here is the data given. See, I'm not doing anything new. Here is the data given. In January, there is a loss of 12,000. In February, there is a loss. In March, there is a loss. In April, there is a loss. In May, there is a loss. And in June, there is a profit. So first calculate the accounting profit and loss figure. Okay. So January 23, February 23, March 2023, April 2023, May 2023, and June 2023. What are the profit and losses given? 12,000 in the first 3 months, then 8,000 in the next 2 months, and in June there is a profit. The first accounting period is till 30th June. Okay, so 12,000. It is better if you can add the sign of the pound, but if you cannot add due to time restriction, there is no issue in it. 12,000. Then in February, there is 12,000. Then in March, there is 12,000. How I'm adding the pound sign again? First, I added it from the symbol cell, and then I have copied it by Control C. Now, every time I write, I just press Control V. You can write GBP also. Then in April, there is 8,000 loss. Then in May, there is a loss of 8,000. And in June, there is a profit of 2,000. Okay, so if you look at it here, I've just picked it up from the question. Here it was written that it is before deduction of capital allowance. Here it was written that it was before deduction of capital allowance. So there must be some issue of capital allowance. So here it is written that she has purchased the furniture and equipment for use in the cafe for £8,000. So obviously, this is the only purchase of the business and it will be covered through annual investment allowance AIA. Okay, so you can claim capital allowance. When I will press tab at the last cell, it will create a new row. Capital allowance, £8,000. Okay, capital allowance is on equipment and furniture purchased for business. So obviously it will be covered through the annual investment allowance. Okay, one student is asking, sir, what was the shortcut? There is no shortcut. These are simple techniques. What I did was that first time I added the pound sign from here symbol tab. And then what I do is that I copy it, Control C. Every time I have to put the paste sign, I just press Control V. Okay. Secondly, when you have to add a new row at the last cell, like see, this is the last cell. I will press the tab button on the keyboard. The new row will get added. Okay. Now, trading profit slash loss. So for the 6 months, the trading profit slash loss will be 12,000 into 3, 12, 12, 12 plus 12 plus 12, and then 8, 8, and then minus 2 is the profit and 8,000 is the capital allowance. So your trading profit and loss is £58,000. Trading loss for the period ending, for the 6 months period ending 30th June 2023. Is it clear? See, the data given in the question was the monthly data. The data given in the question was the monthly data. So I compiled them and I converted it into the 6 months period ended data. Is it clear till here? Please confirm me. Is it clear? The data was monthly. So I have just converted it into the period ended data. Okay, one student is asking that, sir, can we do this working in the spreadsheet? Yes, you can do this working in spreadsheet. You can do this working in the spreadsheet also. But what I personally feel is that it is easier to solve the entire question on a single screen. So what I personally prefer is that I create a table on the word processor, because I personally feel that changing the screens again and again, like opening the spreadsheet, then coming back to the word processor, this may get confusing. Okay. This is a capital allowance. Capital allowance is in expense. That's why it is appearing as negative. There was a loss in the first 5 months. Then there was a profit, and then there was capital allowance. Okay, now we have the trading profit and loss. Is it clear for the first 6 months? Now you all remember that Alma started to trade on 1st January 2023. Her first tax assessment will be till nearest 31st March. I hope you all remember the basis period calculation. You all know the basis period calculation. Whenever you start a business, your first tax assessment is till nearest 31st March. Alma started to trade on 1st January 2023. Her first tax assessment will be till nearest 31st March. Instead of 31st March, you can write 5th April also. But the examiner has allowed this minor rounding off that you can write it as 31st of March. Okay, her first tax assessment will be 31st of March. So what will be the tax assessment if I make it? Now, 1st January 2023 to 31st March 2023. 1st January 2023 to 31st of March. January, February, and March, 3 months. Okay. Now the loss was 58,000 pounds, but it was for 6 months. So for 3 months, it will be, can anyone tell me? 29,000 pounds. Okay. I will answer your questions. Just listen to me while I draw the answer, and then I will come back to your questions. 1st January 23 to 31st March 23. Nearest 31st March, 3 months period. So the 3 months loss is 29,000. Okay. This loss will be assessed. Can anyone tell me that what fiscal year is it? Will be assessed in fiscal year of. Can anyone tell me the fiscal year? We always look at the fiscal year from the end date. We always look at the fiscal year from the end date. So this end date is 22-23. This loss will be assessed in fiscal year of 2022/2023. I will repeat it again. I want you all to concentrate on it. I'm deleting this row since it's extra. Okay, calculate Alma's tax adjusted trading loss for the tax year 22-23. Tax adjusted trading loss for tax year 2022-23 is 29,000 pounds. Let me repeat it again. Okay, see, he asked us, first of all, he asked us to calculate the tax adjusted trading loss for the tax year 22-23. So, trading profit loss of Alma for 6 months ending 30th June 23 will be January, February, March, April, May, June. How come do we know that we have to go till June? You can read the requirement here. Alma will prepare her first accounts for the 6 months ending 30th June 2023. Her first set of accounts is till 30th June. So she started to trade in January. So I picked January, February, March, April, May, and June. Okay, these are the first 6 months. Here it was written that it was before deduction of capital allowance. So our mind started to working that there should be some capital allowance thing involved in the question. So we went back and we read that she has purchased furnitures and equipment. So the capital allowance will be available on it. So we made a small working. The trading profit and loss is 58,000 pounds. Alma started to trade on 1st January 23. Her first tax assessment will be till nearest 31st March. Now, one of the major error which the students do, listen to me carefully, the major error. What the students do is that they will directly pick these 3 months and they will say that this is the loss of first 3 months. See, this is not allowed. I will repeat it again. What the student says that, okay, the first assessment is till 31st March. So Jan, Feb, March, 3 months loss will be assessed in the first period. No, this is wrong. Always remember that first we calculate the accounting period. Listen to my words. First we calculate the accounting period profit and loss like this. First, we calculate the profit loss of the entire accounting period, that is of 6 months, and then we do proration for basis period assessment. Sir, how did you know that you have to apply basis period assessment? Since there was a start of the business, so always in the first year there is basis period. I will repeat it again. The question was that calculate the trading loss for 2022-23. See, 22-23 is the tax period. We never go Listen to me. We never go for the entire fiscal year first. What we have to do is that first we calculate the accounting period profit and loss. That in this accounting period, this was the profit and loss, which is 58,000 pounds. Then we said, okay, this is the first 6 months profit loss. Then, since there is a start of business, so there will be basis period. Alma started to trade on 1st January 23. Her first tax assessment will be till nearest 31st of March. Is it clear? Now let me look at the questions which the students have asked. Okay. One student has asked, sir, will we revise individual overseas issues? Yes, we will revise. It will come in the future questions. So we will revise it while we will be discussing any question relating to that. Okay. Then, so can we work it on the Excel? Yes, you can work it on the spreadsheet also. I prefer that it is easier to solve on a single screen and use the table. But if you use the spreadsheet, that is also acceptable. Okay. So why capital loss is negative? It is not capital loss, it is capital allowance. Okay. Capital allowance is an expense, that's why it is expensive. Will it affect the marks if we show 50,000 plus 8,000 rather than showing the monthly wise breakdown? It is better to show a monthly wise breakdown so that your answer is more detailed. Okay. Now see, one student said that, sir, 36,000 is the loss for 22-23. My friend, you are doing wrong. What you did was you simply picked these 3 months. This is wrong approach. This is completely wrong. What you have to do is, first you have to calculate the profit and loss for the accounting period. First you calculate the profit and loss for the accounting period, then you apply the basis period assessment. Is it clear? First year start date to 5th April, yes. You are not required to make the second period here because your requirement was only for 22-23. So no need to comment on the second and the third tax period. Okay. 29,000 is the loss. Yes, it's very true. Sir, trading loss will be carried forward. We will comment on the loss relief. We have just calculated the loss yet. Okay. Sir, assessment is for, no, the basis period assessment is only for individuals. Okay, in companies there is no basis period because companies file tax return for their accounting year. I will make it clear, listen to me carefully. Individuals file tax return for the fiscal year. That's why they have to apply this basis period. They have to align it to the fiscal year. Companies file their return for the accounting year. Companies are not required to look at the fiscal year. That's why there is no basis period in the companies. This basis period, this 31st of March treatment is only in individuals. Okay. Is it clear? Anyone else? Anyone has any query? Please tell me if there is any query before I move forward. Anyone? I try my best to answer all of your queries while I look at the question tab, but if someone has any query left, please feel free to ask. Shall we move forward? Everyone, please be active. Okay, now, so calculate the tax adjusted trading loss for the tax year 22-23. So this is the tax adjusted trading loss for 22-23. Now, let's come back. What else he's asking? Explain with supporting calculation how her trading loss could be offset against Alma's income and or chargeable gains on the assumption that she does not wish to carry the trading loss forward. So explain with supporting calculation how she can relieve this loss. Okay, what we have to do is we have to explain with supporting calculation how the trading loss can be offset. Can anyone tell me how she can relieve this trading loss? Can anyone tell me? Please, you people are not responding on the question tab. Is it not working? Okay. So what if an individual seizes the business? If he seizes the business, then we apply closing year rules. Okay. I think the calculator is allowed in the remote exams. Okay, then if we assume in company, then the total loss is 58,000. Yes, because in companies we don't do any basis period calculation. Okay, is period of account related? I have replied it that basis period calculation do not apply in the companies. How to handle this in case of company? In case of company, this 58,000 would be the entire loss. Okay. First 4 years trading loss can be carried back up till 3 years. Very good, very good. Opening year rules will get applied. Okay. First in, first out method. Okay. Okay. Now, so how she can relieve the trading loss? The opening year rules will apply. So explain with supporting calculation how the trading loss could be offset against the Alma's income and or chargeable gain on the assumption she does not wish to carry the trading loss forward. First, I will explain it and then I will go for the supporting calculation. Alma can claim loss relief on this trading loss in either of following two ways. Okay, number one is offset. She can treat it as a normal loss, offset against current year total income, offset against, see, listen to me, and then I'll come back to your queries again. Offset against current year total income, and then offset against last 12 months total income, offset against current year total income, and then offset against last 12 months total income. Since the sequence is not necessary, so she can and or she can directly go back to the last 12 months also. Offset against current year total income and or then offset against last 12 months total income. Okay. She can also offset capital gains once she has relieved loss against total income of that year. The first option is that she can treat it as a normal loss, offset against current year total income and or offset against last 12 months total income. She can also offset capital gains once she has relieved loss against total income of that year. Another option is that she can treat it as an opening year loss, offset against total income of last 3 years in, first out basis, and then offset against current year total income. Okay, she can also offset, the same point will repeat here. I will repeat it again, so those who are getting confused, I will make it very much clear. Alma can claim loss relief on this trading loss in either of the following ways. The first option is current year and carry back. Current year carry back. In this case, we are treating it as a normal loss. Another option is that we can treat it as an opening year loss. If we are treating it as opening year loss, we have to go first in, first out. What is first in, first out? We will go back to the earliest year and then we will come forward. I will repeat it again. Please listen to me. Believe me, it is very easy. Just listen to me so that you can understand how I develop the argument. First, he asked us to calculate the tax adjusted loss. So we calculated the accounting period loss and then we applied basis period. Then he is saying that explain with supporting calculation how the trading loss could be offset against Alma's income and or chargeable gain. So we said that Alma can claim loss relief on this trading loss in either of the following ways. Now, what are those following ways? She can treat it as a normal loss, current year total income, previous 12 months total income, current year total income, previous 12 months total income. Once you have offset the total income, you can go to the gains also. Another option is opening year loss. Last 3 years total income on first in, first out, then current year total income. Please ask me any question if there is any query. So there is no overlapping. No, in case of companies, there is no overlapping profit. In companies, there is no overlapping profit because in companies, there is no basis period calculation. Okay. Let me make it very much clear for you. Basis period calculation, overlapping profit, this is only for individuals, for unincorporated business, because they have to follow the fiscal year. In companies, there is no basis period, no overlappings. Okay. Sir, how do we set off the loss of 58,000? See, we are not asked about this 58,000. We are only asked about this period of 22-23. We are only asked about this period of 22-23. In period of 22-23, there is a loss of 29,000. The remaining loss will be assessed in the next fiscal year. Okay. Sir, what about that restriction of 50,000? You are not required to refer it because your loss is already less than 50,000. So it will be some extra explanation which is not required in the question. Okay, I will repeat it again. I want you all to understand it very clearly. See, it is very easy if you listen to me carefully. First of all, calculate the all-mass tax adjusted trading loss. So first of all, we calculated the accounting period profit loss because we cannot apply basis period directly. First, we calculate the accounting period. The accounting period was of 6 months. It was given in the question that she will prepare her first accounts to 6 months. We prepared the 6 months profit loss. Then we applied the basis period as the question was only for 22-23. Okay. The trading loss for 22-23 is 29,000. Then he asked us that what are the options in which we can claim relief? We can offset the current year total income, last 12 months total income. The sequence is not necessary. You can go back directly also. You can go back directly also. Another option is that you can offset against total income of last 3 years in first in, first out basis. Okay. Sir, if the question was asked to relieve the loss for 23-24, then should we add 12 months period from the starting date? Yes, then you would have gone forward 12 months. Okay. But here there will be no overlapping profit because in this question, in the starting months, there is a loss and the losses do not get overlapped. In this question, there will be no overlapping issue. Business starts 3 years, we cannot go back 3 years. So it is feasible to write opening year? No. Let me make it very much clear for you. You are having some confusion. When we say that we will go back 3 years, this means we will go back 3 years and we will offset the total income, not the trading income. In total income, there is an employment income also. In total income, there is an employment income also. One student is asking, sir, if this question would be of companies, what would be a difference? In companies, you wouldn't have done basis period. You would have simply relieved the total loss of 58,000. In individuals, you do this basis period calculation. Okay. So explain with supporting calculation how this trading loss can be offset. This is the explanation. Now let's make a calculation. Now let's make a calculation. So while I'm making a calculation, what I will do is that I will make a simple table. Look at it here. My current year is 2022-23. Now, how many years I can go back? I can go back 12 months or I can go back 3 years. I can go back 12 months if I apply normal loss, or I can go back 3 years if I apply opening year loss. If anyone wants to revise the rules, he can go to the summary notes and he can explore individual losses. Now, here are the individual losses. These are your trading losses. You can treat it as a normal loss or you can treat it as opening year loss. Okay, so these rules can be very helpful for you. Now, so 2022-23, 1 year back, 2021-22, one more year back, 2020-21, and one more year back, 2019-20. Please listen to me while I draft my answer. If you will understand my approach, believe me, the losses questions will always be very easy for you. Now, this is the current year. See, 2022-23 is our current year. in which there is a loss. 2020-23 is our current year in which there is a loss. Then 21-22, 2021 and 19-20. Okay. Trading profit slash loss. In 19-20, 21-22 and 21-22, there was no profit or loss. In 22-23, there is a loss. Please look at the screen very carefully. I will reply all your queries once I'm done with it. Okay. In 19-20, 20-21, 21-22, there was no profit and loss because we were not doing any business. In 22-23, there is a loss. Okay. Now there is a question. Sir, how did you identify that you have to make these 4 years? You should ask me this. You should ask me that, sir, how did you identify that you have to make these 4 years? See, 22-23 is the current year in which there is a loss. I can go back 12 months. This is the current year. I can go back 12 months or I can go back 3 years. So from the current year, I made my planning situation of maximum 3 years because I cannot go back beyond this period. I have made my planning period till 3 years back because this is the maximum period in which the loss can be removed. Okay. Now he has also earned one income which is called employment income because he was doing some job. If you look at it here clearly, here it was written, Alma worked for BG Limited from 1st November 15 until 30th September 22. He has worked till 30th September 22. So he has been doing a job also. Now please listen to me carefully. He has been doing a job from November 15 to September 22 and his salary was from November 15 to September 22. Her only source of income was the salary of 6,700 pounds per month. Due to personal reasons, she has took an unpaid leave from September 19 until August 20. I have a question from you. What is her employment income in 1920? Can anyone tell me? Now the fiscal year of 1920 starts from April 19 and ends on 31st March 20. But he took an unpaid leave on September 19. April, May, June, July, August. In September, he took an unpaid leave. Please listen to me. April 19, 1920 is the fiscal year. April 19, May, June, July, and August. How many months? Please speak up. How many months? 5 months. In September, he went for an unpaid leave till August 20. So what is the salary of 5 months? What is the salary of 5 months? 6,700 pounds per month. What is the salary of 5 months? Can anyone tell me? 6,700 into 5 months. It is 30. Now the pound sign symbol pound. It is 33,500. It is 33,500. Okay, because he worked for 5 months. 6,700 pounds per month and he worked for 5 months. So it is 33,500. This is 1920. Moving forward, in 2021, can anyone tell me? He was on the leave till 31st August 20. He was on the leave till 31st August 20. So let's count it. Please participate. 2021 till 31st August, he was on the leave. So let's count from September. September, October, November, December, January, February, and March. How many months? 7 months. So 6,700 into 7, 46,900 pounds. Okay. See, my approach of doing the losses question is very simple. First, make this format. First, make this pro forma. The answer will start speaking himself. Okay. One student is asking, sir, is it necessary to put this pound sign? It is not necessary. If you will forget to put it, there is no issue in it. Okay. You can write the pound sign here in the bracket also, that it applies on the entire column. But it is not a big thing. You can copy it one time and then every time you just press Control V. So it is not necessary. Don't create a stress for it. Okay. Now let's talk about 21-22. Now he returned from the unpaid leave on 31st August 20. He continued the employment till 30th September 22. He continued the employment till 30th September 22. So listen to me. In 21-22, so many students give wrong answer in this question tab. The only reason that you people give the wrong answer because you have a problem of rushing. Why do you people want to rush? Why don't you listen and read first? You people are giving advanced tax exam. It's a professional exam and you don't have patience to read the question first. Coming back to the question, see, we are talking about 21-22. 21-22 starts on April 21. 21-22 starts on April 21 and ends on 31st March 22. See, he has returned to the job on August 20. So this means that on April 21, he was doing the job. He left the job in 30th September 22. The fiscal year of 21-22 is not till September 22. It is till 31st March 22. So he was employed for the whole year. 6,700 into 12 months. It's 80,400 pounds. So disappointing that while I'm speaking, you are not listening and you are just trying and writing the answer and rushing towards and giving wrong answer. 21-22 means April 21. 21-22 means April 21. April 21 to 31st March 22. He has returned from his leave on August 20. After August 20, he is doing the job. August 20, September 20. Now, April 21, he is sitting in his office and he is doing the work. April 21 till 31st March 22. Alma was doing a normal job. So she was on employment for 12 months. Why are you prorating it for 6 months? I cannot understand. 21-22 ends on 31st March 22, not on September 22. 21-22 ends on 31st March 22. Okay, so he was on job for entire 12 months. What about 22-23? Can anyone tell me? What about 22-23? Now 22-23 starts from April 22. April 22. He left the job in September 22. April, May, June, July, August, September, 6 months. So yes, here there will be 6 months. 6,700 into 6. So it will be 40,200. So this is the total income in all the years. 33,500, 46,900, 80,400 and 40,200. These are her total income. Now we have to explain with supporting calculation what are the reliefs she can claim. Now listen to me. Alma can claim loss relief in following possible ways. Now what are the following possible ways? Claim loss relief against total income of 2022-23. Her total income is 40,200, whereas her loss is whereas a loss of 2020 to 23 is 29,000. One option is that she can claim the loss relief against total income of 20 to 23. What is another option? She can also claim loss relief against total income of previous 12 months of 2021-22. Her total income in 2021-22 is 80,400, whereas her loss is, whereas her loss of 2020-23 is 29,000. She can claim against current year. She can claim against current year, total income of current year of 20 to 23, or she can go back 12 months. She can also claim relief. She can also claim relief through opening year loss relief and carry back the loss to 3 years back on first in first out basis and offset total income of 2019-20. Total income of 2019-20 is 33,500, whereas her loss of 2020-23 was 29,000. So these are the all possibilities in which she can claim the loss relief. These are all the possibilities in which she can claim the loss relief. She can offset the current year total income. She can offset the previous 12 months total income, or she can go back 3 years. Look at my answering technique. Look at my answering technique. I'm not rushing while I develop the answer. I'm just following the format. I'm just following the format. Because what I believe is that in the exam, you cannot take shortcuts. Now listen, if you will read the examiner answer, it is very easy for me to open the examiner answer and teach like many other tutors. They just open the examiner answer and they read it. If you read the examiner answer, he will only talk about 1, 2, and this year. He will skip this middle year. Now the student will always get confused that why did he skip this year? Because the examiner already know the final answer that in current year or carry back 1 year or carry back 3 years, the loss will get relieved. The examiner already knows the final outcome. But we are a student in the exam. We don't know the final outcome. We have to make the entire format always. We make the current year and we made the last 3 years. We made the current year and we made the last 3 years. We made our presentation and then we started commenting. Okay. Now many students are saying that, sir, why didn't you commented on the wastage of the personal allowance? Why didn't you commented on the wastage of the personal allowance? See, please listen to me carefully. Currently, I'm not advising that which option is best. Currently, I'm not advising that which option is best. Currently, I'm just telling the possible ways which are available. I'm not commenting that which option is best. I'm telling the possible ways. Okay. Now, since he said that we have to comment on the chargeable gain also, so we will make it clear. Claim against chargeable gain will not be possible in any of the year because loss will be fully relieved against the total incomes. You can only go to the chargeable gains once you offset the total income completely and then also the loss is remaining. Your loss will not be remaining, your entire loss will be utilized. Now, once students ask me that, sir, if I have calculated this employment income wrongly, how many marks will I lose? Maximum 2 marks. Maximum 2 marks, not more than that. But if you will make a proper format, then only the examiner will deduct only 2 marks. If you will skip the things, then you will miss out. Okay. Always remember, don't deviate from your approach. If you have studied from me, you always know that I always solve the loss question in this manner. I always solve the loss question in this manner. Now, whatever the question is, I don't care. I will always make my format. I will always make my format, and then I will start thinking. Now, what you people do is that in the exam, you try new techniques. Don't do this. Always follow your original technique. Your original technique is that we always make the format and then we start commenting on the options. Let me repeat it again. It's a 14 marks part. So obviously there must be detailing involved in it. Okay. First of all, he asked us that calculate the Allmar's tax adjusted trading loss for the tax year 22-23. So now since we said that the first accounting period is still 30th June, 6 months. So we first made the accounting profit loss. Then we applied basis period. Then we applied basis period and we identified the loss for the first fiscal. Okay. First you do the accounting period, then you do basis period. Always remember. First you do accounting period, then you do basis period. Then he said that what are the possible ways? First I commented on the rule, that this is the rule. Then I made a calculation and I said that, okay, his loss is 29,000. He can offset it in current year. He can offset it in previous year. This is the normal loss. Current year, last 12 months. Current year, last 12 months. Another option is opening year. In opening year, you go back 3 years automatically. 3 years. From 20 to 23, you go back 3 years and you will offset here. So you said in current year, you can offset in last 12 months, and you can offset 3 years back. Okay, is it clear? Now, one student is saying that, sir, what about the expenses? See, one piece of advice. Always think simple. Don't get involved in the things on which the examiner was silent. The examiner didn't said anything about the expenses, so don't make yourself confused and don't make the examiner confused. When he's silent on thing, you should also remain silent. Okay. He didn't said anything about the allowed expenses, so you are not required to comment on that also. Is it clear? No. So, okay, one student asked, if the capital loss was not deducted and we completed our answer, if you would have missed out the capital allowance point, you would lose 1 mark. See, there are no carry forward deductions. If you forget one thing, you move forward, that's not an issue. In advanced tax, it is very much normal that you miss some points. It is normal. So don't get frustrated about it. If you forget about capital allowance, 1 mark will be lost. If you calculated employment income wrongly, it will affect 1 or 2 marks. Okay. Now, he said tax adjusted profit because of the capital allowance thing. Because he specifically stated in the question that the profit and loss figures were before the capital allowances. He said that the Almas budgeted tax adjusted trading figures before capital allowance. So only capital allowance adjustment was required. Coming back to the question. Calculate Almas tax adjusted trading loss. We are done with it. Explain with supporting calculation how the trading loss could be offset against Almas income and or gains. So we have commented on the option. Conclude on the most beneficial way. Conclude on the most beneficial way of relieving the loss. Now, can anyone tell me the most beneficial way? Can anyone tell me the most beneficial way? The answer is here. Look at it and start thinking. What is the most beneficial way? Okay. Now, many students said that carry back is the most beneficial way. Can you give me the reason? Can you give me the reason? Okay. Now, one option is that you calculate the tax saving for all the options. Another option is that you use smart working. Like if you will solve it in the current year. Now in current year, your profit is 40,200. Listen to me. In current year, your profit is 40,200. Now, if you will claim the loss relief of 29,000, 40,200 minus 29,000, your profit value will fall to 11,200, which means your sum of the personal allowance will get wasted. Listen to me. If you will claim, let me open the calculator. In the exam, you have to use the calculator given here. In the exam, you cannot use other tabs. So in the exam, you have to use the calculator which is given here. Okay. So now what we are doing was now. So if you will claim the relief in the current year, now your current year profit is 40,200. Now if you will 40,200 minus 29,000. If you will claim the relief in the current year, 40,200 minus 29,000, your profit will fall to 11,200, which means some of the allowance will get wasted. And obviously, wasting personal allowance is never advisable. Okay. If you claim the relief in 21-22 against 80,400, what will happen? Okay. If you claim the relief against 80,400 minus 29,000, your allowance will not be wasted and you will remain in the higher rate band, which means that if you claim the relief in the previous year, you will get relief at higher rate band. You will get relief at higher rate band. See while I develop the answer. If the trading loss relief is claimed in current year, listen to me. If the trading loss relief is claimed in current year, then it will lead to wastage of personal allowance. Current year total income of 2022-23 is 40,200 pounds. If loss relief of 29,000 is claimed against it, then total income after loss relief will fall to 11,200. Personal allowance is 12,570. There will be wastage of personal allowance. There will be wastage of personal allowance by some amount, and also the major loss will be relieved in basic rate band. We are developing the argument. See, please let me make it very clear. He didn't ask you to calculate the benefit for all the options. So if you will calculate the benefit for all the options, that is also acceptable, but it will waste your time. If you will calculate the benefit for all the options, like you will calculate, okay, from 40,200 multiply by this, the band adjustment, it will give you a credit, but no additional marks. You can comment it in the narrative also very easy. We have to conclude that which is the beneficial option, so I can conclude it in the narrative also. If the trading loss is claimed in the current year, then it will lead to wastage of personal allowance by some amount. Okay, first of all, the personal allowance will get wasted by some amount. The personal allowance will get wasted. Current year total income is 40,200. If loss relief of 29,000 is claimed against it, then total income after loss relief will fall to 11,200. The personal allowance is 12,570. So you will waste some of the allowance. If the trading loss relief is claimed against last 12 months total income, that is total income of 2020 to 21-22, then it will be most beneficial. Why? Total income of 2021-22, this one, 21-22 is 80,400, is 80,400. After loss relief of 29,000, it will reduce to how much? 80,400 minus 29,000. It will reduce to 51,400. This means that personal allowance will not be wasted and entire loss relief will be at higher rate band, because 51,400 is above 37,700. You are at the higher rate band. Loss relief will be 29,000 into 40%. This will be the best claim. Into 40%, it will be 11,600 pounds. Okay. In case of opening year loss claim, there will be personal allowance wastage. Why there will be personal allowance wastage? Why there will be personal allowance wastage? There will be personal allowance wastage because total income of 2019-20 is 33,500. After loss claim of 29,000, I will repeat it again, so don't worry. After loss claim of 29,000, it will fall to how much? 4,500. Personal allowance is 12,570. Okay. Considering wastage of personal allowance, it is not the best option. Okay. Considering above arguments, it can be concluded that best way to utilize trading loss of 22-23 is to carry it back against total income of previous 12 months of 2021-22. Okay, the best way is carry back. Why it is the best way? Because in that case, there will be no wastage of personal allowance and relief is also on higher rate band. See, it is the technique that how you take up the requirement. When I have made this table, it is very easy to develop the arguments. If I will claim 29,000 here, my allowance will get wasted. If I claim 29,000 here, my allowance will get wasted. Because after 29,000, it will fall to 4,500. If I claim 29,000 here, my allowance will not be wasted because there is sufficient income left. Okay. If I claim 29,000 here, my allowance will be wasted by some amount. Because if I deduct 29,000 from 40,200, the total income will fall to 11,200. Some of the allowance will get wasted. Now, one student has asked me that, sir, why didn't you commented on the possibility of 2021? See, I cannot go to 2021 directly. Either I can go current year or I can go back 12 months. Another option is that I have to go back directly 3 years. When I go back directly 3 years, then I have to move forward. My loss will be utilized in 1920. So I cannot move forward to 2021 because there will be no loss left. My entire loss will be used here. There will be no loss left to move forward. Is there anything else which the examiner is asking? Nothing. And this is your requirement of 14 marks. Let me repeat it. Let me repeat it. Okay, let me repeat it again. First of all, he asked us calculate the all-mass trading loss for the tax year 22-23. We said that we cannot directly identify the loss of 22-23. First, we need to work out the accounting period. Listen to me. He asked us the all-mass tax adjusted trading loss for 22-23. You cannot work out 22-23 directly. First, you will work out these 6 months. Then you apply basis period. Then you apply basis period. Okay. So first we worked out the 6 months period. Then we applied the basis period for 22-23. Then the possible options. Current year total income, last 12 months total income, and then first in, first out. And then the best way, so we commented that which is the most beneficial option. So we commented that the most beneficial option was the last 12 months option, because in current year and in 3 years back, our allowance was getting wasted. One student is asking, sir, please repeat it for me that when we follow last in, first out, and when we follow first in, first out. In terminal losses, we follow last in, first out. In opening year losses, we follow first in, first out. Okay. In terminal losses, we follow last in, first out. But in opening year losses, we follow first in, first out. I hope that I have made myself very clear in this question. So let me repeat it for you people. Okay. First, let me export the file. Question 1, June 2022. Okay. Now, let me repeat this entire question for you people. Believe me, it was an easy question. Believe me, it was not difficult. I would say one thing for you. You cannot write it completely perfect in the exam. But what you need to understand was that it was very much easy, that you can score 70 to 80% marks in this question. Okay? 70 to 80% marks were scoreable. In terminal losses, we follow last in, first out. In terminal losses, we follow last in, first out. Terminal is cessation. In opening year losses, we follow first in, first out. First in, first out means the most older year first. In last in, first out, we go back reverse. Okay. Now, so first we made the format of the memorandum. Okay. Then there was the easy 5 marks requirement, becoming a tax advisor to Alma. What are the matters we will consider and what are the actions which we should take? Becoming tax advisor to Alma. Okay. I think this was a very easy and a straightforward requirement. Then repurchase of shares, a piece of cake. Simple rule-based requirement. If you remember the rule, you would use the summary note and you would have easily identified it. Okay. Then voluntary registration for VAT. Simple arguments that you can recover the VAT relating to the equipment. Then disadvantage that you have to charge VAT on sale. But I believe this was also an easy one. Then loss planning, 14 marks requirement. Believe me, this loss planning was very easy, a very easy requirement. First, we calculated the accounting period profit, and then we applied the basis period calculation till the nearest 31st March. Then the options for the relief of the loss. The options for the relief of the loss. We made a format and we made the options. Current year, carry back last 12 months, or go back 3 years. Okay. And conclude on the most beneficial way. In 2 methods, the allowance was getting wasted. So it was very clear. It was very clear that we have to go for the previous 12 months. Is it clear? Everyone? Is it clear? Now, just listen to me. Very important discussion. Please listen. Now we are done with this question 1. Tomorrow, in the next session, we'll look at question 2, then question 3, and then question 4. Now, what you should be doing during this time? Listen to me. I want you all to revise this. this question one, and I want you all to do few more papers. Now, where can you find my few more papers? Listen to me. Okay, you have to go to YouTube. You have to go to the youtube.com. In the search tab, you will write Oves Mirchawala. You can go to my YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel, you will find few more papers. You will go to my channel, Oves Mirchawala. In the search, you will write Oves Mirchawala. You will go to my channel. You will click on the playlist tab. Okay. And here on the playlist tab, see the third playlist, Advanced Text Past Paper Discussion. Okay. Advanced Text Past Paper Discussion. You will click on the full playlist. Now here I have uploaded few other papers also. June 2021 paper, December 2021 paper, December 2018 paper. These are the free resources for you. No charges for it. Go and revise these papers also. Okay, you will go to my YouTube channel and you will do these papers till the next class. Okay, no need to subscribe. Okay, it's not a marketing activity, just telling you people that you have to do these papers. These will help you in the practice. Okay, so June 21, December 21, and December 18 paper. So these resources will help you more. These resources will help you more to practice the complete papers. In the tomorrow's class, in the tomorrow's discussion, we will move towards the question number 2. We'll move towards the question number 2. But what I expect from you people is that before the tomorrow's session, you will do at least 1 or 2 questions more from my past paper sessions so that you can practice more. You can understand more about the approach. Okay. So those students who have already completed these papers, go to the practice platform website and now attempt few papers on your own and send me for the marking. Okay, what you have to do is that complete paper with me in these sessions, do these past papers, and then attempt some complete papers and send me for the marking. Take a feedback. Okay, I hope that the today's session had added value to you people. Okay, just 1 week left to the exam. Give more and more time to the practice. Do more and more past papers. Do more and more practice. Revise your course through the summary notes. If you have any query, feel free to ask me. Don't think that whether you are my student or not. You all are my students. Feel free to ask any query. I'll respond you as soon as possible. Okay, the summary notes are sufficient for the revision. They will give you a detailed guidance and do some complete papers. Okay, for the WhatsApp group, you can contact me on the number. I'll send you the link. Thank you, everyone. I hope you all have enjoyed it. Okay, so tomorrow we'll continue with the question number 2. Thank you.